In the quiet recesses of our lives, we all crave comfort, a soft illusion that shields us from the world's sharp edges. Yet lurking beneath that desire is a truth we often evade. Pain isn't merely an intruder. It's the forge that tempers the human spirit. Without it, we drift, untested and fragile, like leaves in a gentle breeze. But embrace it, and pain reveals itself as the greatest teacher, carving wisdom from the raw stone of experience. Think about it. From the moment we enter this world, crying out in protest against the cold air, pain signals our awakening. It's not a curse, but a guide, whispering where we've gone astray, urging us toward growth. The Stoics understood this intimately. Epictetus, once a slave whose leg was twisted by his master's cruelty, didn't rail against his suffering. Instead, he saw it as a mirror to the soul. Sickness is a hindrance to the body, he reflected, but not to your ability to choose. Pain strips away illusions, forcing us to confront what truly matters, our responses, our resilience. Seneca took this further, viewing adversity as a deliberate instructor sent by fate. In his letters, he described how hardships build character, much like a wrestler grows stronger through bouts of strain. Fire tests gold, he wrote, misfortune brave men. And Marcus Aurelius, amid the burdens of empire, reminded himself daily, the mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. These aren't empty platitudes, they're forged in the heat of lived torment. But Stoicism isn't alone in this reverence for suffering. Nietzsche, that stormy thinker, proclaimed pain as the crucible of greatness. To those human beings who are of any concern to me, he declared in his twilight writings, I wish suffering, desolation, sickness, as I wish them the only means of discovering their own selves. For him, pain shatters complacency, birthing the Übermensch, the one who overcomes. It's not masochism, but a fierce alchemy. What doesn't kill us doesn't just make us stronger, it reshapes us. Jung delved deeper into the psyche, seeing pain as the shadow's call, a summons from the unconscious to integrate our fragmented selves. Unacknowledged suffering festers, manifesting as neuroses or despair. But face it, and it becomes transformative, a path to individuation. Existentially, it's the absurd grind of Sisyphus that Camus celebrated, not in resignation, but in rebellion. Pain teaches us that meaning isn't given, it's wrested from the void. Yet why does this teacher seem so harsh? Psychologically, our brains are wired for avoidance. Evolution favored those who fled danger. But in fleeing emotional or spiritual pain, we stunt our evolution. It's a paradox. The very thing we resist holds the key to freedom. Through analysis, we see pain as feedback, a signal to realign with our deeper values, to shed what no longer serves. Consider the life of Friedrich Nietzsche himself. Plagued by migraines that blinded him, racked by illness that confined him to darkened rooms, he didn't succumb to bitterness. No. In those depths, he penned his most incendiary works, like Thus Spoke Zarathustra, where suffering births the higher man. His breakdowns weren't defeats, they were the price of peering into the abyss. Or turn to literature. In Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground, the nameless protagonist wallows in self-inflicted agony, railing against rationality. Yet through his torment, he glimpses authenticity. A raw humanity beyond societal masks. These aren't tales of triumph over pain, but through it. Pain doesn't break us arbitrarily, it breaks us open, revealing strengths we never knew. History echoes this. Think of Helen Keller, blinded and deafened in infancy, a world of silent darkness that could have imprisoned her forever. But pain became her tutor. Guided by Anne Sullivan, she transformed isolation into eloquence, authoring books that illuminated the human condition. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet, she later reflected. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened. These stories aren't anomalies, They're testaments to pain's pedagogy, how it compels us to adapt, to innovate, to transcend. In our modern world, this lesson feels both distant and desperately needed. We live in an age of numbing distractions, endless streams of content designed to dull the ache of existence. Social media feeds us dopamine hits, promising escape from discomfort, yet leaving us hollow. How many scroll through nights, avoiding the quiet pain of unexamined lives? Technology amplifies this evasion. Apps that curate perfect realities, algorithms that shield us from dissent, but in doing so, we forfeit growth. Pain, the sting of failure, the grief of loss, gets buried under filters and notifications. Consider the emotional struggles rampant today. Anxiety epidemics grip the young, fueled by a culture that pathologizes discomfort rather than embracing it. We medicate sorrow, therapize every setback, forgetting that pain often signals misalignment with our work, our relationships, ourselves. Jung might say we're repressing the shadow, inviting it to erupt in collective unrest. Burnout in high-pressure jobs, isolation in hyper-connected societies. Habits compound this. We chase convenience, fast food for the body, quick fixes for the mind, yet wonder why fulfillment eludes us. Nietzsche would decry this as the last man's creed, comfort over courage. In global patterns, we see it too, nations avoiding the pain of reform, clinging to outdated systems until crisis forces change, climate shifts, social divides. These are pains ignored, now demanding our attention. But herein lies the opportunity. Today's world, with its rapid upheavals, invites us to heed pain's teachings, adapt to uncertainty, cultivate resilience amid flux. Even in personal realms, pain guides. The heartbreak that shatters illusions of love teaches discernment. The professional failure that humbles ego fosters humility. Technology, for all its faults, can aid this. Mindfulness apps echoing Stoic practices, virtual communities sharing stories of overcoming. Yet the core remains. Don't flee pain, befriend it. In a society obsessed with happiness as a constant state, remember, true joy emerges from contrast, from valleys climbed. As twilight settles over the day's trials, let this truth linger in your thoughts. Pain isn't an enemy to vanquish. It's a companion on the journey, whispering secrets of the soul. In its grip, we learn humility, the art of bending without breaking. We discover depths we might otherwise ignore, forging a self not fragile but enduring. Feel the weight of your own scars now, each one a lesson etched in flesh and spirit. Nietzsche called it the school of the soul, the Stoics, a divine curriculum. Whatever name we give it, pain teaches what ease never could, the beauty of impermanence, the strength in surrender. And so, in quiet moments like this, honor your pains. They are not punishments, but invitations to grow, to awaken, to live fully in the fleeting dance of existence. For in embracing them, we find not just survival, but a profound, unshakable wisdom. Timeless as the stars above, honest as the earth beneath our feet,